includes looking at the financial statements whenever there's been a fraud or manipulation of the financial statements. That's usually categorized as being blocks, and that's looting and profiting. Looting means manipulating the financial statements to take something away from the company, whether it's cash or other assets. And profiting meaning to make the financial statements look a bit better than the actual picture of the company, so that one can receive a bonus or certain company, that type of thing. Another area is economic damages. Damages are usually where one is looking to receive money for damages or for an act that they damage them to the tune of whatever that damage may be. And there's three types of damages: nominal, punitive, and compensatory. Nominal being $1, $2, something where you just want to prove the fact that you were damaged. Punitive being when there's an act of malice or negligence, reckless negligence, so there's a need to punish or deter this type of behavior in the future, and so punitive would be, even though it would be related to what the damages actually were, it would also be a much higher number. And then compensatory damages, which is where most of the work that I would have involved finding exactly what the loss to the plaintiff or the defendant may have been. You don't find many of these cases in the Bahamas because folks, when companies, individuals, when they're damaged, they think that the court system is going to take too long. And so sometimes they may try to settle up front, or sometimes they may just accept the loss and move on. But anytime there's a breach of contract, the tortuous act, unfair competition, these are all cases where a party can bring forward an economic damages case. If a fisherman loses the ability to use a boat during the crawfish season because someone damaged it, or the marina damaged it, they can seek damages against the marina. And the calculation is usually just the lost profits less any expenses that could have been avoided, which would be equal to the lost profits. The next area would be fraud, and this is the largest area that you'll see forensic accountants working in the Bahamas or in the Caribbean, and it's investigating fraud, coming up with deterrence and prevention mechanisms, giving companies advice on how they can deter fraud. What we're finding here is that what I found is that there's quite a bit of procurement fraud, procurement fraud or purchasing fraud, where there's some relationship between a purchasing officer or someone purchasing and maybe a U.S. vendor or a vendor here, and so their kickbacks, the price may be double, and their kickbacks to the purchasing person. We're finding at least I'm finding lots of cash related fraud. They're finding ways to take cash from the company. And this isn't just, it's not just in government, but this is in just about every type of company or industry that you can find. The next area would be valuations. And this is a broad area, but you'll find forensic accountants participating in it. Some only do valuations. Fifth area would be insolvency, receivership, restructuring. Quite often the forensic accountant acts as a liquidator or receiver. Then there's civil litigation, which would be accountant malpractice, commercial damages, trade secrets, patent infringements. All of these fall under civil litigation. And then there's family law, which is the valuation and division of marital property and child and spousal awards. Again, you don't find much of this happening. You find divorces happening in the Bahamas, but you don't find much of the litigation surrounding family law happening here. But usually during tough times, women may not seek divorces. They wait until afterwards. So that worldwide there's been a decrease in the amount of divorces. The forensic accountant's role within this is mainly asset investigation, trying to find the assets, and then coming up with a desktop valuation as to what can be extracted from the assets, whether it's a company, a something else, which can be extracted as payment to one of the parties in a divorce proceeding, or when there's spousal awards at jeopardy. Those are the main services that you'll find a forensic accountant being involved in. What I'll do now is talk about some of the tools. First tool is business intelligence services, and this is the gathering of background information on individuals and companies, whether that's litigation history, criminal history, education history, asset ownership, tax claims, judgments. Now, all of this information is available. Some of it is public, some of it you may have to use regulators or private investigators. But it's very key when a forensic accountant takes on an engagement. They try to obtain as much background information on individuals as possible. There's a company here that provides the services called Intelligence, and they're also in Cayman as well. And they're currently the largest here in Cayman as well as the Bahamas. Another tool that a forensic accountant should have access to is global asset tracing and recovery. And this is considered the end game within a fraud investigation or an insolvency matter. What separates a good receiver or liquidator from the average is the ability to locate assets, to freeze assets, and then bring them back into the estate or the pool of assets for distribution. And what we're finding is a lot of times it's very hard to find the assets. It's very hard to see what litigation or liability may exist for third parties within an insolvency matter. But if one spends time and obtains the specialty, it's very important to the work that they will do.